But I have to say that to claim that a oil well explosion underwater would be one, fraction of a thousandth of a, even low yield, say 5 megaton hydrogen bomb, I think that sounds pretty ridiculous. But who knows? Because people tend to get twisted what is said on talk shows and what aren't. I asked Lindsey-Williams earlier, I should have brought this up during the break. I said, what did you say about who really controls the military? And that the American people would be shocked if they knew who really controlled it. And he said, no, I never said that on that show. And so people may have heard a caller or something. But what about tsunamis? You have any comments on that, Lindsey?
Not really. I have heard the same rumor that you've heard. But there again, I go back to what I said earlier in the program. I cannot operate on think so, hope so, hear so. I have to go to my informants to find it, and none of them have indicated this to be the case. I have heard about this big bubble that's down there. I hope it's not so.
All right. Let's go ahead and take a few final phone calls here in this marathon transmission. Jeff in Texas, you're on the air.
Hi. I had heard when you said that this was a strata of oil.
That's correct. That's what they called it, was a strata of oil that they went into that they undoubtedly have never penetrated before.
So my question is kind of like in a hydraulic system where heated pressurized oil holds, the force holds something up. Since they're depressurizing this strata, can we expect to see earthquakes in the outer rims of this strata?
Well, when you understand the magnitude of the size of the planet, oil wells taking tens of millions of gallons of oil out from very deep, it is negligible compared to the overall structure. And you've got all these different strata. Natural gas is in domes, or it can even be in sand, and then comes out of the rock. And so you're in areas that are actually what you would think of as solid sand or rock. I'm no engineer, but I've read about it. You've got oil wells that are shallower that have caused sinkholes to start, sinkholes to form. So there is some evidence of that. The Israelis admit that they've looked at detonating explosives in old oil wells to cause small earthquakes. Secretary of Defense Cohen in April of 1997 admitted that our government and others do have tectonic earthquake weapons. Comments on that, Lindsey-Williams?
Yeah, there's got to be something taking place down there. There again is all supposition as far as I'm concerned, because I haven't heard my sources say this. But this could cause no telling what. I mean, we just have to wait and see, really.
Absolutely. Caller, does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. And again, we can get engineers on here. We can get scientists on. We can get geologists, hydrologists. They're not going to know all the answers because the world is so complex and they're drilling at depths. I mean, if I got a geologist on who, say, had worked in a certain area of, say, Limestone County, Texas, and who'd worked there for 20 years drilling shallow and deep wells, and I asked them questions about that area, they could tell me with a lot of authority what was going on and what would probably happen. But you start getting people out there that are drilling 30,000 feet under the ocean floor, they don't know what's going on. They don't understand it. They're learning as they go along, and that's what's so scary about this, Lindsey.
BP has hit the unknown, literally. I mean, literally now, just think about it for a moment. Even Russia, in their super deep wells to 40,230 feet, they did not hit this oil pressure. This is the unknown. They don't know what to take of it, and a lot of even they themselves are guessing.
Well, I just want to say this before we take a final call. I am humbled by all the listeners. I'm humbled by everyone's support. I'm humbled by people calling in and asking me questions, because somebody asked me about the Federal Reserve or the Second Amendment, or the New World Order, or Queen Beatrix, or the Bilderberg Group. I can, comment on that. And I actually have done a little bit of study in oil wells and hydrology and drilling. And But again, the government doesn't know. BP doesn't know. And all they know how to do is put new taxes on us and take more of our freedoms. And now Hillary Clinton's on the Drudge Report. Obama administration to sue Arizona over immigration law. So more treason on that front. Let's take one final call and we'll let Lindsey Williams go. George in Connecticut, you're on the air.
Hi, Lindsey. I have 3 quick questions. One, with some of the secret technology that we have, drilling tunnels through the United States for trains or whatever they talk about on various other shows, why can't they use something like that? The other question is there any way we can stop these people with their carbon tax? What ways can we sabotage their plans for 2010 or whatever date they have? And lastly, this seems suicidal because the Chinese are waiting on the side. I lived in Asia for a long time, and they're just waiting for us to knock ourselves off so they can just pick up the pieces while we're flat on our back. And if these idiots pull off this plan, basically they're going to just pounce on us after we jackassed ourselves into a corner.
Well, it is true the world's a very serious, dangerous place, and the elites we have are out of control and arrogant. And some of it was declassified in the 50s that they had nuclear-powered giant underground tunneling machines that could, in some cases what I read was tunnel up to a half mile a day, depending on what type of rock they're going through. But normally they drill those tunnels just a few hundred feet under the ground. They're all over Austin. They're out at the old Bergstrom because it was the former SAC command base. They go out to Fort Hood. There are underground bases, and that's part of the continuity of government program. Most of it's secret, but we know the program exists. They do have a lot of advanced technology, but how do you get something like that to tunnel from whatever underground spur it's got all the way out to the Gulf of Mexico and then down to 25, 30,000 feet? The heats, the pressures. Just like there's pressure involved with water on top of you, there's pressure when you're underground. I mean, they've got mile-deep mines in South Africa I've seen film footage of where it's 150 degrees, and they've got giant air conditioners they lower down. And even with those huge air conditioners that move with the miners mining diamonds and gold, it's still 115 degrees, and they've got to stand right in front of the air conditioner with it 150 degrees 5 feet away from them, hacking out giant diamonds and gold. I mean, so again, man is not all-powerful. Man is not God. We can barely go a mile down to get diamonds. Lindsey Williams.
Nothing is going to stop the elite's timeline of 2012 except the providence of God. I highly recommend you call on him on a regular basis and ask for his assistance.
Well, I also highly recommend people get your DVD set breaking down all this and the latest audio CD, and give that toll-free number and website out again one more time, Lindsey Williams.
Toll-free numbers, operator standing by right now. Please copy these documentaries and give them out. They are not copywritten. My toll-free number is 888-799-6111, or go on the web to prophecyclub.com. Spell that with a C. prophecyclub.com. Alex, I like why I don't oftentimes say things to you too much because you and I, we all of us are in this business together. But I have such a great admiration for what you're doing. I appreciate you immensely. You are reaching audiences that nobody else in America is reaching in a way that nobody else is doing it. And I just say, God bless you, the real God, the true and living God of the Bible. And keep up the great work you're doing, and I have a great admiration for you. And everybody out there, you listen to Alex Jones every day, and don't you miss a single program.
Lindsey, I appreciate what you're doing as well, and God bless you. And we're all trying to reach people together and just to question the system and try to somehow prepare ourselves as this world gets crazier and crazier, and we can't do it without God. And you're absolutely right at the end of the day to put it at God's feet. As long as we do the right thing and just count on God, I know I have faith that God will come through for us as a civilization, as a society. We'll talk to you again next week with another update. Lindsey Williams, thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Have a great day.
You bet. I said I'd do 20 minutes of overdrive. We did 44 minutes of overdrive. I want to say great job to my crew. to the Genesis Network, to the folks that make Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com possible. I'll be back live tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central at Infowars.com and on your local AM and FM dial. Whatever we do, we know a carbon tax and more taxes on the American people and our faltering industry is not going to fix this problem in the Gulf. And so we have that fight to deal with. Until next time, sayonara. Alex Jones signing off.